There was a season in my life when every prayer sounded the same. God, please change this. I whispered it in the morning, repeated it at night, and carried it quietly through the day. I wasn't asking for something dramatic, just a breakthrough, something to lift the weight I had been carrying for so long. Maybe you know that feeling. You've been praying faithfully, but nothing around you seems to move. Bills still wait. Your body still feels tired. Your situation still feels stuck. And deep down, a question begins to form that you don't like to admit. God, are you hearing me? I remember feeling disappointed, even confused. I believed God could change things in a moment. I had read the stories. I knew He was able. So when nothing changed on the outside, my heart started to grow weary on the inside. Not angry at God, just tired of waiting. What I didn't realize then was that God was answering my prayer, just not in the way I expected. I was asking for relief. He was shaping my character. I was asking for a breakthrough. He was giving me discipline and wisdom. Jesus once spoke about building a house. He said the wise person builds on a solid foundation, not on sand. At the time, I wanted God to fix the house, but He wanted to strengthen the foundation. Slowly, very quietly, God began to change small things. Not my circumstances first, but my habits. He nudged me to wake up a little earlier, to be more careful with my choices, to stop waiting for motivation and start practicing faithfulness in small steps. At first, it felt almost disappointing. I thought, God, this isn't what I asked for. I wanted open doors. He gave me responsibility. I wanted sudden favor. He gave me patience. There was no miracle moment that made me cry tears of joy. No dramatic turnaround that I could point to. Just steady, sometimes uncomfortable growth. But here's what I learned. God cares more about who we are becoming than how fast our situation changes. He knows that lasting peace doesn't come from quick fixes. It comes from wisdom that guides us long after the moment has passed. I think of a man I once heard about who prayed for financial relief for years. Nothing changed at first, but over time, God taught him how to manage what he already had. How to say no when needed. How to be consistent even when it felt slow. Years later, he realized the prayer had been answered, not through a sudden increase, but through a changed mindset and steady obedience. That story became very real to me, because one day, I looked back and realized I wasn't as anxious as before. I wasn't reacting the same way. I wasn't depending on sudden answers anymore. I had learned to walk with God daily, not just run to Him for emergencies. Scripture often reminds us that God gives wisdom generously, not as a reward for perfection, but as a gift to those who seek Him. Wisdom teaches us when to wait. Discipline teaches us how to stay steady when nothing feels exciting. If you're in a season where you feel overlooked, delayed, or quietly disappointed, I want you to hear this gently. He is not withholding good from you. Sometimes, the greatest answer to prayer is not a change in circumstances, but a strengthening of the heart. You may not see it yet, but the discipline God is building in you today will protect you tomorrow. The wisdom He is forming now will guide decisions you haven't even faced yet. Nothing in this season is wasted. You don't have to force yourself to be positive. You don't have to pretend waiting is easy. God is patient with your questions. He is kind with your weakness. Jesus understands the weight of waiting because He walked that road too. So take a breath. You're not behind. You're not forgotten. And your prayer has not fallen to the ground unnoticed. Even if the breakthrough looks different than you imagined, God is still being faithful. He is shaping something deeper, stronger, and more lasting than a momentary change. Let this be a quiet reminder today. God is working in ways you may not recognize yet. And when you look back, you may realize that the wisdom He gave you was the miracle you needed all along. May your heart find rest in His timing. And may you trust that God knows exactly what He is doing, even now.